Hello, my name is Tiara Pritchett, and I'm an English teacher at Mount Pleasant High School. I'm also an advisor for both Girls Empowered and Black Student Union. Today I'm going to share with you how to get more students involved, engaged, and invested in your Black Student Union. So as teenagers or as students, depending on the age of the students that are going to be in your Black Student Union, really, kids just want to feel like they're seen and they want to feel like they're heard. Black Student Union should always be a safe space where students feel like they can come, whether it is a formal meeting or even if it's an unofficial time. They should feel like, as the Black Student Advisor, they can come to you, right? And you should make that available to them, whether it's through them stopping by a classroom, stopping by an office, or they can send an email, or they can formally send a text message, and preferably through a service such as Remind, where they have an opportunity to further connect with the advisors or other students that are a part of the organization. So if you want students to feel like they're invested, the space A has to feel safe, right? And then B, you also want to consider your Black Student Union just like you would consider any other organization or corporation or even as a business. So I view my Black Student Union as if it is a brand, right? So I look at it in the same way as when people have to market for something, I do the same thing with my Black Student Union. So I literally have a document where I type up, what is our vision? What is our mission? Our founding president also created a pledge for us. We say that pledge at the beginning of every meeting. This helps people feel like they're seen, they're heard, and they're a part of something that's larger than themselves. The next thing we do is that we have a Black Student Union logo. We also use Pan-African colors, so that's black, that is red, and that's green, so that it symbolizes for them, again, that they're a part of something. So when we get t-shirts made, again, it goes back to the branding. We have our logo on there, we have our colors on there. Think about your favorite organization or corporation, whether it is Chick-fil-A or it is Target or it is Starbucks or whatever it is, Dunkin' Donuts. My students love going there. But wherever you love to go, again, there's a certain feel to it and there's a certain consistency to it. Your students are looking for the same thing. Whenever I order my coffee at Starbucks, I'm looking for the same consistency that I always get. My macchiato should taste the same every time I get it, right? The same is true. Whenever students come into BSU, it should look the same, but it should feel the same. That's where that safety comes in. And then with branding is the visual aspect, which oftentimes I find that people miss. When students walk into my room for Black Student Union, when they walk in, there is a large table I always have set up, and it always have particular items on it. I have African artifacts on that table. I have African American and African board games on that table. It's always adorned in black, red, and green items. I also have different African American books on that table. That's also where I put the snacks. So obviously they're looking forward to that. So they immediately run there, but it does something to them when they walk in and they see that I took the time to put a simple red tablecloth on the table, and I simply pull those little artifacts out to make it feel special. Or when it's the holiday season, maybe we will do like a soul food dinner. So maybe we are bringing in chicken, or one time one of my students baked macaroni and cheese and she had her mom drop it off. So it's like it's a community effort. Again, it goes back to it being a safe space where students feel seen and they also feel heard. So of course they're going to want to come back because they know this is a place where I'm going to get to learn, I'm going to get to connect, I'm going to also be able to eat good as well, and I'm also going to feel like I am validated as a person, which may or may not be happening throughout the regular school day depending on the courses that a student takes and or the teachers or staff members that they are going to be around throughout the day. So if you want people to feel invested, again, you have to have them feel as though they're a part of a larger group, right? That's why we rep our colleges and universities so much. Or if people are in sororities and fraternities, they get really excited about it. It's the same thing when students feel like they are a member. They're not just a student that shows up, but they're a legitimate member of your club, then they want to come back. Another way that I formalize this process is by giving each student at the beginning of the year, when I host an interest meeting for students or when a new student arrives, I give them a member application / survey. So the front side, I ask basic questions about them, name, grade, GPA, why they're interested. On the flip side of that is a survey where I learn more about how they identify culturally, but also that's where I get to hear student voice and things that they're interested in. Some of the topics that I've heard over time, students really want to learn more about Black history and culture. They want to understand how African Americans are in economics, politics, mental health is a really huge one, LGBT community, identity, gun violence, police brutality, and so on and so forth. From there, I utilize those and generate what ideas can I take to put into maybe a speaker that I'm going to have come in, or an activity that I'm going to do, or even an icebreaker that we're going to do. And again, by incorporating their voice, their interest, that helps me to build a climate and culture within our safe space of the club that gets students wanting to come back. On average, I have anywhere from 30 to 35. Normally at the beginning of the year, we can have close to 50 students who show up because they are so interested. And it goes back to that table setup I mentioned. When I set up for the activity fair, I don't just put a clipboard out and say, sign up for Black Student Union. I make it an experience. Again, every great brand that you know about, they have an experience, and that's why you want to keep coming back. So we set that up for them initially so that it hooks them in, but it makes them want to keep coming back. And once students are invested, they're going to go and they're going to grab somebody else, right? And we call that each one, go back and reach one and bring somebody in. And you can do incentives as well, where you may give out gift cards. By the way, I add that in often when we do activities, but giving out gift cards, whoever can bring 2 new people with them or 5 new people with them, or whoever brings the most new members to us this year, is another way you can generate interest and generate new members to come in. So as the advisor or leader of Black Student Union, you have to be invested in this process. That's why you also have to select leaders who are invested in the process, because it really does require real work, because there requires a level of planning, thought, and intention to get people through the door, but to keep people coming back to your Black Student Union.